Hello and welcome back on this channel. For this new video I would like to present to you a new type of item, the German Stahlhelm, so the steel helmet model 1916. These helmets were introduced in 1916, as its name suggests, or its model name suggests, to replace the spiked helm that was worn by the German soldier up until that point, for the exact same reason as why the French introduced the Adrian helmet and the British introduced the Brodie helmet, simply to protect soldiers from shrapnels and debris falling down after artillery bombardment, mainly. However, what we can see with this helmet is that the construction is a little better than the one you can find on the French helmet, mainly, as well as and the design way better than the one of the Brodie helmet. So it's a lot heavier, and as for the the design of the helmet, as you can see, it actually endured in time, since today's helmet resemble quite closely this design. So a very good design, quite a heavy helmet. Here we have two different helmets. One which is a model from 1916, or a pattern from 1916, with this leather, the band inside to hold the interior. While the other one is, let's say, a second pattern introduced in 1917 with a metallic band inside to hold the liner. So, what about those two helmets? Those two helmets are extremely typical from the First World War. As I said, started to be introduced in 1916. They were given to the troops up until the end in 1918, meaning that many troops actually, even though the helmet was introduced in 1916, continued to wear the spiked helmet, and that up until the end of the war. The first time, as far as I know, that this helmet was introduced to frontline troops and used in combat was during the first days of the Battle of Verdun, as far as I know, in 1916, where German soldiers started to use en masse this type of helmet, even though a lot of soldiers still had the spiked helmet during the Battle of Verdun, from the beginning to the end of the Battle of Verdun, because, as I said, it took time to replace all the spiked helmets. So let's take a look at this one. So as you can see, those helmets are some kind of a greenish color. As you can see also, the ground is not quite the same between the two helmets, simply a difference in terms of producer who made the helmet and at what time. Slight variation in terms of color. Those helmets could come in two variants in terms of color. This green color, or also a grayish color was also available for German troops. At the end of the war, though, you maybe have in mind those camouflage patterns. So this turtle type of camo on the helmet, those were hand painted by soldiers. So when they were to leave the factory, those helmets would be again in green, olive green, or in dark olive green, let's say, or in gray, and then the soldier sometimes would paint them on the front line in this camo pattern that you will mainly see at the end of the war. What else? As you can see, in terms of construction, it's made of one piece of metal with two little screw, let's call them screw for the moment, I don't know the exact term in English. Those were made for ventilation. Inside you have either a leather or a metallic band to hold the liner. The liner is made out of three pouch of leather, if you want, and in each pouch of leather you will have some horsehair. So you will have this liner with a pouch, and inside the pouch there will be horsehair to provide some comfort, let's say, to the soldier, and some distance between the metal part and the head. What you also find is those, what was missing in the helmet I previously shown to you, the spiked helmet. This is a little a piece of leather to hold together the dents de loup, I don't know what to call them again in English, and to close the liner. Then, in terms of chin strap, it's the same type of chin strap that you would find on a spiked helm. However, it's a bit more sturdy. This one, unfortunately, has been broken and most of it is missing. But if you were to compare these chin straps to the one from a spiked helmet, it's a bit heavier, it's a bit sturdier. However, they're perfectly interchangeable. So sometimes you will find those type of helmet, the Stahlhelm, sporting a pickle hole, so a spiked helmet, a shield strap. That's often and something that you can find often when you buy a helmet. With regard to those helmets, there is also the size of the helmet. It's always in the same place. So we try to get closer to the camera. I don't know if you can see here, but there is a little number and a letter. So the letter is for the maker, and the number is the size. So here it says 62. So this helmet is the size of 62. And as you can see, it is a little bit smaller than the other one, narrower, because the other one is a size. Take a look if we can find it. Yeah, I mean I can find it, but I cannot clearly read it. It's a size of 60, well, I don't know, 60 something. Cannot read it quite well here on the camera. I will try to take a look after and put it on the video. So what else? Often what you may find on those helmets, some indication as to the name of the first of all, on this one, as you can see, there is like a little, a little metal piece here. And if you remember correctly, during the second video about the spiked helmet model 1895, I told you about this tendency of French soldiers to make holes on the back of spiked helmets to hang them either to their backpack or when they were back home to their chimney or somewhere in their kitchen or inside their home. This is again typically what happens. So this helmet has been captured, very likely, and the soldier, the person who kept after the war this helmet, decided to attach it somewhere, and that's what's left. So a little piece of metal to hang it from somewhere. What also you may find sometimes on helmets. So on this one, I don't know if there is one, but often the name of the soldier. So very often soldier will write their name inside of the helmet. I don't think there is a name on this one. I will take a deeper look after this video. If I find something, I will put it here. However, in this one, you will have actually two types of markings inside, wrote by people. So the first one, I don't know if you can see it well here. You will have something written. I will put a better picture for you to be able to read. And if you can read it, it's actually written in English. Why? Simply because this helmet was found in the US. So it was an American soldier who actually took it and brought it home in the US as a war trophy. And actually the guy who owned this helmet before me bought it in California. So it went all the way to California and now back in Europe. So you have something that is written, so sent by something. We try to give you a better picture of what's written. If I remember correctly, also on this helmet somewhere, and I will try to find it, there is the name of the soldier that has been written. I will try to show you, to put a picture to show it to you. And as you can see, the inside has been not well preserved. And if you wonder what this stain on the liner is, well, I guess maybe you have understood what it might be. This kind of dark stain. Let's just say that the owner of this helmet may have met a tragic end. What else? So the liner is usually attached to the main body. So this liner and this metal band, or the leather band, is attached to the main body of the helmet by three different rivets. So here you see there is one missing. So this hole is simply because one of the rivets is missing, but you have one, two missing, and three. On this one it's better. Yeah, all of them are here. So one rivet, second rivet, and the last rivet. As you can see, this one is a little bigger, this rivet, than the other one. So this one are more close to the helmet, this one's a little bigger in the back. So it's always the same. So the back rivet is always a bit bigger than the two in the front. Now, as you can see also, so two different helmets, two different sizes. This one a bit narrower, this one a bit heavier. And as I told you, those little screws, let's call them screws for the moment, were used for ventilation, but not just ventilation. They were also used to attach something called a Stirpanzer, so a piece of metal at the front of the helmet to make the helmet bulletproof. Because even though this helmet is way heavier and more sturdier than the French one, or to some extent the British one. It's still not bulletproof. So what the German did, they created this metal plate that could be placed in front of the helmet, and they will be attached to those two little screws, just like that, to protect the soldiers in case, for instance, of sentry duty. So when they're in the trenches, static, doing sentry duty, they could actually put this metal plate. Also for machine gunner, because machine gunner were often more exposed and more vulnerable than the rest of the soldiers. So yeah, this is the reason why there is those two screws as well on the side of the helmet. So why not everybody was wearing this metal plate if it made the helmet bulletproof, because it was very heavy, and you don't, I mean, having a front heavy helmet is not really well, nice on your neck, not really comfortable, and therefore it was often, I mean, even sentries very often do not wear those metal plates because just way too heavy, and it will make the helmet fall in front of your eyes. It will put a lot of pressure on your neck. Well, not really comfortable. As you can also see, those screws are not the same on those two helmets. Here you can see it's way narrower, so like the part close to the helmet is narrower, and here it is a bit wider, simply because those metal plates were one size only and were supposed to be adaptable to all helmets, independent of size. So again, this one is a bit narrower, therefore they compensated by making the first part of the screw a bit wider, while this helmet is a bit wider in itself, so they made this screw a little narrower close to the helmet to be able to attach this metal plate. So this is it for today. So thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully see you next week for another video. Bye!